Holy shit, guys! They finally did it. The No Way Home Spider-Man trailer is finally out. Oh, it feels like we were waiting forever for this trailer to come out, but it finally did. I think it was probably because of reshoots and figuring out what they wanted to show, and also not wanting to promote too many things probably all at once, but it's finally here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris Captures, and today I'm going to be taking you through this trailer and telling you as much as what is going on inside of my mind, or the little hidden details in there which might help us figure out the plot for this film. Also, I'm not going to cover everything because there is a lot here. I'll tell you as much as I can figure out through our rewatch together, because I have just watched the trailer. It blew my mind. If you want to hear me talk more in depth about this, probably with a few other opinions due to my co-host, listen to my podcast, Get Real. It's everywhere that you listen to podcasts. I'll leave a link probably in the corner right here, right now. It'll also be in the link in the description down below, and it's also at the end of every video. So that's where you can listen to me and Sam talk about it, but if you want me to go frame by frame through it here, we will do. We'll watch it in slow-mo at times as well. I'm just going to tell you as much as what's coming out of my noggin as soon as I'm watching this, because, oh boy, this is going to be a doozy. So let's hop on over and let's get viewing this trailer. Ugh. Ugh.
Oh, look at this. This is a good one. Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
Stop, come on.
Yes, my spider lord.
Okay, so straight away, let's go back a little bit here, because there's some really nice details straight away. Okay, so if we listen to the beginning of the music when this trailer starts.
Oh, look at this. This is a...
They are the first 3 notes of the original Spider-Man theme song. Classic. And also, zoom and enhance Chris in post. Here you can see graffiti that appears to say Ditko, which, if you don't know, Ditko was the co-creator of Spider-Man with Stan Lee. So we've got to get the credit in there. Also, Steve Ditko was infamous for working on characters such as Doctor Strange and stuff as well with Jack Kirby, and Jack Kirby's influence we'll see later on.
Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
Stop, come on.
Yes, my spider lord.
Can we just...
So if we look on the front of that cover as well, we see the headline Spider-Man and his Spider Minions, or Peter Parker and his Spider Minions. Peter Parker's yearbook photo on top of Spider-Man's body with little marionettes of MJ and Ned, so they are both being pulled into this. Probably footage from the events of Far From Home on all the security cameras from London Bridge and stuff like that have probably all been captured, and they've seen them with him. And also what happened in the Tower of London as well. So, possibly they're being roped into the lawsuit as well. I think later on we do actually see them being interrogated. And interestingly enough, talking about how some spiders can mind control females to mate with them, which there are spiders out there that can. Obviously, that's not one of Peter Parker's powers, but the headlines will run with anything. Let's carry on.
It is so crazy down there.
That's right, folks. Spider-Man is in fact Peter Parker.
Listen, I did not...
Okay. Straight away, we're following straight on from the events. This film's probably going to start as soon as Far From Home ended with the reveal of his identity, and we see a little bit more of that chase in a little bit. But here we see what a lot of people are saying could be Daredevil. But this guy right here, I'm going to brighten it for you and everything. You can have a look for yourselves. He's not wearing glasses. He's totally not the right type of build to be Charlie Cox. I don't think this is Daredevil.
Not kill Mysterio. The drones did.
The drones that are yours.
Okay. There's nothing to say that in any of these scenes we don't see Charlie Cox being his defense attorney, but it seems like these two are interrogating him at the moment. Someone from the New York Police Department. This is the guy that we saw outside. If you look, definitely not Charlie Cox by that build at all. But this fella here, he's wearing a DODC
The drones that are yours.
hoodie or jacket, so Department of Damage Control, which, if you remember back at the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming, are the guys that take the crash site off of Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, who we believe is back in this film.
Relieved about all this.
What do you mean?
Now that everybody knows you don't.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say that this is yet another tease at Mephisto. I'm not going to say it. You guys can say that if you want, but this lady ain't happy about it. This story is definitely, by the looks of it, taking some inspiration from One Day More, in which case Doctor Strange can't help Peter Parker raise the knowledge of who his secret identity is, so he ends up making a deal with Mephisto. They've been teasing devil-like figures for a long time. I don't think he's here at all. Maybe we'll see a hint of him, maybe in Doctor Strange or something, but Spider-Man would not be the film in which we get Mephisto, especially with all the other multiverse shenanigans that's going on. It's too much. But another devil-like reference in the franchise.
You don't really have to hide or lie to people.
MJ is saying to him, are you not kind of happy that you don't have to live a lie anymore? Okay, so here we have Betty Braddock reporting, which we'll see on the screen inside of the school in a minute. But we just keep watching. We do have some Spider-Man supporters as well, by the looks of it. If we go back a couple frames, we've got Spider-Man Guilty here, but also looks like We Heart Spider-Man. So there is still support for him as well. He's a menace, it says there. These are all like popular catchphrases from Jane Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man. But here we see MJ walking alongside him, holding hands, and also we see Flash Thompson dyeing his hair blonde. Did he get inspired by Black Widow? Maybe we don't know, but he's trying to look bougie with his Gucci backpack and stuff. Maybe we'll have some more reveals of what's going on with his family.
I never wanted to lie to you. But how do you tell someone that you're Spider-Man?
Again, this is another shot from the aftermath of Far From Home, in which probably as soon as this news breaks, obviously he's down on street level, everybody sees him, everybody swarms him, trying to get like autographs or photos and stuff like that. And then he's going to try and escape with MJ, and the police are following him down. But that bridge is actually, I believe... Yeah, so this is where the climax of Spider-Man 1, the Sam Raimi one, happens, in which he has to choose between Cable Car and MJ. So we're going back to some familiar locations already.
You're Spider-Man.
So there we saw on the TV Betty Braddock reporting on the news. Also,
how do you tell someone that you're
all of his classmates taking photos now, because imagine that. So this is what we just saw outside. It's literally just carrying straight on. Imagine finding out your classmate is a superhero.
But this isn't about me. This is hurting a lot of people.
So yeah, this is probably when everybody first gets taken into custody over the murder of Mysterio, which we all know Peter didn't do, but he will have to
I've just been
convince the law.
How to fix all of this.
So it looks like this film's starting off at Halloween, and we've also seen set photos taking place over Hanukkah and Christmas as well. So I reckon this one looks a bit more like a vampire in the middle, but this one up here definitely looks like Doctor Strange, and Peter's seeing this and being like, oh, okay, Doctor Strange do time shit. Maybe time shit help me shit.
So Peter.
And then straight away from one shot, inspired by Doctor Strange, to the Sanctum Sanctorum to meet Doctor Strange.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm sorry to bother you.
And this finally explains the get-up that we saw on all the pop vinyls and all the toys. For some reason, the Sanctum Sanctorum is snowing internally and is all frosted over, so he's in like a parka, he's wearing his, I think it's Columbia maybe, the university that Stephen Strange went to, he's wearing his boots and stuff like that with the shovel, which finally explains that pop vinyl that we saw. Also,
Please be safe to have the universe.
why is it frozen? Is it something to do with maybe the doors that we saw in Doctor Strange, or maybe last time we saw the Sanctum Sanctorum was the beginning of Infinity War, in which the Bifrost broke through it? Maybe a protection spell over the Sanctorum's been messed with or something by the Bifrost breaking through it. We don't know. But if Doctor Strange was dusted, and in the script, and I think in photos from Endgame, we saw Wong was dusted as well, so nobody would have been there to take care of it, so it could have possibly frozen over as they've returned. They're still trying to deal with all the wacky spells that are going on and stuff like that. We don't know yet. Maybe a link to Jotunheim, where Loki is from, maybe. Realm of the Frost Giants.
Together, I think we're beyond you calling me sir.
Okay, Steve.
He's also holding a mug there that says "for Fox's sake," which is kind of like, it's kind of a little joke and a nod, but at the same time, obviously Marvel buying Fox out to get hold of the Fox properties as well. I don't think that's like a coincidence.
Okay, Steven.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
Definitely looks like more of a wig.
When
Oh, okay. This is Peter at a food bank, and he's wearing his black integrated suit, which we had leaked a couple months ago from the toy lines as well. Super cool looking suit. It looks like it's imbued with some of Doctor Strange's powers. Maybe this is how he's able to move between dimensions or stop himself from being pulled between dimensions, maybe. And we also saw it shoots webbing, which have like the Eldritch circle runes around it and stuff that we see Doctor Strange casting when he uses his magic.
You'll reveal my identity. My entire life got screwed up. I was wondering if maybe you could make it so that he never did.
Strange.
Okay, so there we have it. This is our like #1 link to One More Day, in which he goes to Stephen Strange to help him have this reversed. It also reminds me of the story Spider-Man Fever, or Spider-Man Doctor Strange Fever, in which they travel throughout the multiverse to try and, I believe it's find a cure. I do have the comic books, but I haven't read them in a long time, but that is where I think a lot of the imagery for this film is coming from, with the multiverse stuff and obviously the Kirby inspired looks and stuff like that, and the trip through the multiverse.
Don't cast that spell.
So Wong straight away, he's like, no. But what happened last time, Wong told him not to go look at forbidden knowledge and stuff like that. Doctor Strange then took the time stone and started fucking with time, didn't he, in Doctor Strange? So just reverse psychology in Doctor Strange. Just don't tell him not to do something because you know he's going to do it.
It's too dangerous. Fine. I won't.
Wong is going on holiday somewhere there, and that looks like where Doctor Strange trained. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. The place in Tibet where he found the Ancient One. That's what that looks like. Or this could be a link maybe to something in Shang-Chi, because we know Wong is showing up in that as well. Maybe it's all part of the same trip. He ends up going back to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then he ends up doing the weird cage fighty bit, which would kind of set up all these post-Endgame films taking place round about the same time. That's why none of them have been affected by, say, Loki or WandaVision yet and stuff like that. So maybe this is taking place at the exact same time as Shang-Chi, and that's why Shang-Chi isn't dealing with multiverse stuff, because it hasn't happened yet. We're not quite sure.
Entire world.
Okay. Some underground part of the Sanctum Sanctorum. It looks like it's collapsed. Maybe it's not been used for years. Maybe they tried to close off the entrance because this is forbidden magic again,
It's about to
possibly.
forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Wait, everyone? Can't some people still know?
That's not how the spell works.
So MJ's gonna forget about everything we've ever been through?
Stop tampering with the spell.
Oh my god, Ned, he's my best friend. Oh, my hand.
Okay, so this might be stretching a little bit, but there are 3 rings of magic here. Is it possible that they are meant to stay separate, and now that he's talking, they're wobbling and things aren't going right with the spell? Is that possibly where the universe is, the Sam Raimi and the Amazing Spider-Man and now the MCU start to cross over? Once these lines like cross over, then you're breaching the timelines and the realities and stuff like that, and things start to go awry. Is that possibly what happens? Because we do see in a second.
They should really stop talking.
Look at that. Look at this shot. Okay, Jesus. Let's go back and watch this in 0.25 speed. This is gorgeous now. Right now, this is Jack Kirby all over. Look at this. So yeah, look, the 3 rings start to overlap, blast away, and that is where we see the tear in like space-time almost. This doesn't look too dissimilar as well to what we saw in Loki with the timelines as well in the background. That purple splintering effect. This is straight out of Doctor Strange. Yeah. Maybe we see a Watu's face in the background or something. So this is all taken straight from Doctor Strange, this. They're just using the same footage for the trailer to explain what's going on because they haven't done that part of the CGI yet. Or maybe they're just using the same imagery to keep it consistent. Maybe he shows Peter through the multiverse or something. And then we end up with, this is what's left of the spell. And I think this might become the MacGuffin of the film. This is what they need to close the breaches between worlds and send the villains or possible other Spider-Men back into their reality. Whew! So much going on.
What just happened?
We tampered with the stability of space-time.
So here Spider-Man's got his suit all of a sudden, and he is running away from the tear in the fabric of reality. Is this maybe... I think this is one big chase scene where him and Doctor Strange might be at odds before they agree on how they're going to tackle the situation.
Multiverse is a concept about which
MC Escher folding in on itself, and from the location as well, this is roughly where the Sanctum Sanctorum is in New York, apparently. I've never been to New York, but apparently that's what people are saying online, so that makes sense. Listen to what Doctor Strange is saying as well.
we tampered with the stability of space-time. Multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
And this is our first shot of possibly two of the villains from this. We see the Yellow Lightning, obviously Electro in Amazing Spider-Man. We had confirmed that Jamie Foxx was coming back, but his Electro was all blue, whereas this is Yellow Lightning, and we did apparently have reports that he wasn't going to be blue. So maybe it's an alternate version, maybe things are changing, maybe they're being pulled from, you know, like what we've had in What Ifs and their variant versions of this universe and stuff. They might not be like the main one, it might not be being taken straight from Amazing Spider-Man. It might be taken from a variant of Amazing Spider-Man, possibly, in which we have like the more classic green and yellow Electro. It's possible. And also, that's a hell of a lot of dust and dirt. Possibly a Sandman, because if we get Sandman, due to what else I've seen in this trailer, we could then possibly have a villain from each of the Spider-Man films. So we would have Green Goblin, Spider-Man 1, Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, Sandman from Spider-Man 3, with a possible Venom tease maybe. Then we could have Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man, Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. Obviously, this is all tied to Mysterio, what he did in Far From Home, so that's our connection to the 7th Spider-Man film. What number's that, guys? 6. Sinister 6. If this isn't Sandman and they just have 4 villains in this, what's the point in not doing 6 and doing the Sinister 6? So I reckon we see Lizard in a bit as well. So I reckon we're getting a Sinister 6 made up of multiverse villains. This looks like a possible continuation of that chase. Maybe once they fall through that MC Escher hole in New York, maybe they end up somewhere else, maybe the Grand Canyon or wherever this is, on a train. That looks like a New York train, so the fabric of reality is just being stretched and torn apart. Maybe they go through a tunnel, which is where these mountains are, and possibly coming out in the Grand Canyon or something. I think Spider-Man might be stealing something from Doctor Strange to try and correct things on his own, and then he ends up teaming up with Doctor Strange to solve the final solution.
The problem is you trying to live 2 different lives.
This symbol is the same one that's on the roof of the Sanctum Sanctorum. I believe this might be a housing for what we saw left of that spell. So this could be the key to the multiversal breach or something, because this is the only time that we see this black suit as well in this trailer. And this is still autumn as well. So it's before all the Christmas scenes, so there's a chance there. There's a chance.
The longer you do it, the more dangerous it becomes.
Happy Hogan's back, and also a destroyed building. Happy might have been coming to collect Peter from somewhere, and it's been attacked by one of the Spider-Man villains. So possibly we'll get like a wink and a nod going back to another familiar location, like maybe this is Toby's loft apartment from Spider-Man 2 or something. So maybe this is a safe house for him.
The more dangerous it becomes.
Multiple things going on here. Let's rewind this a little bit and watch this in slow-mo, because I haven't watched this in slow-mo yet. Spider-Man on a bridge. This, I believe, is linked to something else that we're going to see in a minute. Okay, this here. Tell me this isn't Lizard in some sort of containment thing. This kind of looks like a body shape in the dirt and sand, maybe protecting Spider-Man. So maybe he feels guilty for what happened to Uncle Ben and he's determined to try and help this Spider-Man now. It's possible. This shot here, there is definitely a body behind him there. Definitely the size of that looks so much like Lizard, and it would complete the Sinister Six, wouldn't it? Again, Electro here. Like, these are just like lots of shots of the villains all together, so it would make sense. I don't believe this is going to be Electro here. I believe Electro would be up here. I think we've got really smart cropping going on here to try and cover villains and stuff like that. Like, the cropping things intentionally. Sandman, I reckon. Because this kind of looks like a body shape here in the head and shoulders and stuff. But, oh, the money shot. And also listen to the sounds here. This is the exact same pumpkin bomb that we see in the Raimi trilogy. So it's one of the Raimi Green Goblins. Alfred Molina said that his Doc Ock has been taken directly from the time that he died in the Hudson, when he drowned with the big sun device. So possibly we've got Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin back from the moment that he died. That laugh. Oh, that laugh. Okay, so we got the pumpkin bomb. It's 100% the same one. This is the George Washington Bridge, which is over the Hudson in New York. So this is the river in which Doc Ock's body drowned and floated down. So 100% it would make sense why this would be the location that he would be resurrected or pulled through. If he was pulled through at the time of his death, it would make sense that this is where he would breach through.
Be careful what you wish for, Parker.
God.
Hello, Peter.
Oh, it feels so good. You just feel justified, don't you?
Hello.
You got the tentacles coming out. They look so fucking good. They do look slightly different. They don't have the spikes in the middle, but they are near enough the same.
Hello, Peter.
Slightly different outfit. This looks more like the Doc Ock that I think we've had in most of the comic books. Alfred Molina looks younger here than he did when he played Doc Ock. Whether there's some de-aging going on, I believe he said there will be, but I think he looks younger nowadays anyway. He's definitely, like, people are taking a lot more care of themselves. Like, Hollywood is a place where everybody looks younger than they are anyway. Ooh! Do we reckon he's talking to Tom Holland, Peter, and somehow they just know when they come through that all Spider-Men are the same? Or is he talking to Tobey Maguire, Peter, here, and he's been pulled through it with him at the same time?
Peter.
I want to know who's in this car. Who's this head? Who do we think this is? I don't know. But here we see the Iron Spider suit back again. Into that spider theme. December 17th. They're still sticking with December 17th at the moment. I thought it would have been delayed because they've been doing reshoots really recently. So also, when Doc Ock appears, have a look at, there's a green light in the background. This might be when Green Goblin appears as well.
Be careful what you wish for, Parker.
Okay, it's on this left-hand side here. That looked like a Goblin glider in the background, and we can hear the Goblin glider as well. Goblin glider is a hard thing to say. Oh, guys. This is insane. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. We're getting a multiverse. We've had leaked images as well of other characters. I don't think 100% of the leaked images are true. There's ones apparently showing Andrew Garfield with him. I'm not 100% on them because they are so blurry, and some shots are just Andrew Garfield by himself or it's meant to be him and Tom Holland in such a way that it is barely legible what's on screen. So I don't know if that's 100% true or not. I would love to see 3 versions of Spider-Man on screen together, especially now that we've got Raimi working on Doctor Strange and stuff as well. It's possible that it's just going to be our one Spider-Man and we have all the villains come over, which would be more than enough for me, you know what I mean? And it would help this Tom Holland Spider-Man stand on his own 2 feet. But with all the stuff going on with variants at the moment and stuff like that, it's entirely possible, and I would not be mad either. If we get it, it's icing on the cake, as long as it doesn't interfere with Tom Holland's story. And if we don't get it, then it's still incredible to see the Sinister Six coming on screen together for the first time ever in the MCU. Oh, it feels so good. I've had a smile on my face since I first saw this trailer. I didn't watch the leaks because I didn't want it ruining, and I'm so glad I waited because this shit slapped hard. Anyway, like I said, if you want to hear me talk more about this, listen to my podcast Get Real when it comes out on Monday. I think we're talking about The Witcher's new animated film, maybe Free Guy, and obviously the Spider-Man trailer, so keep an eye out for that title. I believe it's going to be episode 88, I believe, of the podcast. So if you're watching this in the future and you want to come back and listen to what we said and see if we were right or not with our predictions after the film comes out, head on over to the podcast Get Real, and it's right there. It's everywhere that you listen to podcasts, so don't be afraid to check us out. Leave us a rate and review on there, and also follow our socials. It's Get Real Pod on pretty much everything. They'll be linked below anyway. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more comic book content in the future, as well as manga and collectibles. This is the right place to be. I've just had some really cool Star Wars stuff delivered. Yet more merch as well. So stay tuned for some hauls. I think I'm going to do a manga hunting video. I'm going away on holiday for my birthday, so I'm going to try and find some manga there. Stay tuned for that video as well. It's going to be a wild time at the moment. Thank you for all the support, getting my videos over 1,000 views. Yeah, more than tripling my subscriber count nearly. It's absolutely mind-boggling, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. It'll probably be next Thursday, so stay tuned for that. Copyright on this bed. Do ba do do ba do do do.